online offerings as well as instructor-led.
So when I log in, it says, "Hey, Brett's online. If you got any questions?" It's not some
That's
bot.
me.
That's you. So
you call the phone, you email the email, you chat in, you're going to get me. So I'm
Brett
the
is
one
really
on the
online.
other end.
it's literally.
Yeah, literally.
Well, when Chuck joined and we knew that we had the fair coming up, I thought, what a great way to to have an exclusive, we're going to call it an exclusive interview with you guys, to introduce Chuck to the industry. So Chuck, why don't you give us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to AMI?
Okay, that's actually it's a long story, but I'll try and keep it short. So I'm Alaskan by birth, and my father was an educator up there on the North Slope. He spent time as a teacher, a principal, and then later a full-on administrator. And when I was getting ready to graduate from high school, I didn't really have a whole lot of direction at that time. And he said, "Well, why don't you get into teaching?" And I said, "Oh gosh, that is the last thing I want to do." But I went to an event that was held by a post-secondary school, and they said there was going to be a shortage of automotive technicians, which, by the way, still exists today. Yep. Skilled automotive technicians. Yes. Yes. And so I went off to trade school and got my degree, and then came back home. And I really wanted to work on heavy equipment, but that didn't pan out so well. And I went to work for Nissan, and worked as a line technician. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Might be potentially.
Yeah. Worked as a line technician for a while, and then hired on with Nissan North America about 20 years ago now, fixing cars over the phone, and then later went on to teach technical training, and then later went on to be a training manager in operations and eventually instructional design. And then fast forward to 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and the career in education continues.
Yeah.
Surprise, Dad.
Yeah, I got somewhat similar background. My dad was an educator as well. Both my parents were educators, but my dad on the automotive side. So not only do we share similar, the same hairstylist, we've got that same kind of background as well. And you're right behind you. You got a little bit more work to do there, but
Yeah.
Never a bad hair day.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So no, I'm excited to have you on the show, and we've been talking a little bit. This is our first time to meet face to face, so that's been a pleasure, and really looking forward to continuing to work with you. So, so for those of you that maybe are a little bit less familiar with the Automotive Management Institute, can you give us some background? What exactly is AMI? What do you offer? Because I think on the collision side, from my perspective, you mentioned that we've been heavier on the collision. AMI has been heavier on the collision side, but I think on the collision side, we have historically seen AMI as more on the service side. So, what's some mixed messages there?
Yeah, mixed message. Yeah. So the Automotive Management Institute primarily is an organization that provides accreditation to training. So there are a bunch of training providers out there, and AMI puts a stamp on it and says, if you come to us and you essentially sign up, we get you credit for the courses you've taken, and then eventually we'll get to a point where you earn a designation, be it, I think we have 10 different designations, 6 in collision, and then 4 in service. Yep. And they could be accredited automotive manager, AAM, or even the master, AMAM, on down to service certifications and collision certifications. So it's kind of a spot where we host other people's training now on AMI 2.0 and the learning management system, but then also with instructor-led training too, and seminars and such. You can come on in and get credit for the training that you've taken.
So who are some of the training providers that you work with currently? Who's out there that we might know?
A couple of big ones, Fiat Chrysler, FCA, and Honda. Actually work with Honda as well. And we're starting to develop a couple other OE relationships right now. But we'll save that for a later conversation.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So what's that process if I want my AMI designation? What does that look like? So if I'm watching today and I don't know much about AMI, what's the first step, and kind of walk me through what I need to do?
I think actually Brett is awful lonely over here, so go ahead and take it, Brett.
Well, it's pretty easy access. Really, there's multiple ways you can find your way to us. I'd say the easiest and first way would be amionline.org is our website.
amionline.org, okay.
Yep. That actually gives you a full description of who we are, where we came from, what we're about, and where we're headed. It also gives you a link directly to our LMS, which is our online portal, where you can go sign up, no cost, free profile. You can choose either service or collision. We also do have specialty estimating designation roles, and we are continuing to evolve on that as well. So there's more work and the surprises ahead for that in the future, not too long from now. But yeah, there's quite a few ways you can get to us. I would say the website's definitely number one. You can go to amisignup.org or .com. We own them both.
Okay.
And it redirects you right to the LMS. If you look actually at the verbiage on the front of the LMS, you'll see that there is clickable links that direct you on how to easily set up a profile, how to easily access our FCA content, for example, and a whole host of other things that we offer on the LMS.
Okay.
So.
And I can either take training directly from the LMS, or I can also take some training like offline or somewhere else and come to you for testing on some of those courses as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In fact, we actually host about 10 of your webinars.
We do, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a collaboration across the industry.
Yeah, and that's something that we started, Brett, that was last fall sometime, I think. We started taking some of our social media content, some of our content on our YouTube channel, and some small post tests. So again, you watch the video, take the post test, and that can count towards those AMI designations.
You get some credits right there. Credits with AMI are good for life, and that's something a lot of people don't understand. When you purchase a course and when you complete a course, not only do you own that course for the rest of your life, but you also keep those credits for the rest of your life as well. We never take them away from you. You never, are stripped of them. It's something that always belongs to you once you do make the effort to, go ahead and either purchase or complete something we have to offer.
Now, one thing that I think is cool about the AMI process, well, when I graduate, right? I mean, we're just kind of a graduation process. Tell us what the graduation process and what you get upon successful completion.
I have done 2 graduations that I've actually been in myself.
Okay.
I got my AAM and my AMAM, which is my kind of similar to a bachelor's and a master's degree, if you will, in the auto industry. And it's a great event. Typically, we host it 2 to 3 times a year. If it weren't for COVID, unfortunately, this year, we would have hosted the first one in Hurst, Texas, in the middle of the year. We would have had the second one at the Red Carpet Breakfast Awards in SEMA, and we would have held the third one that I would have actually taken care of myself in Daytona Beach, which is a great event, which is the ASA Foundation's event. Mary Steele, who is a close personal friend of mine and also a board member, she's the one that runs that.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
Now I noticed a guy from Chicago said he was going to do the one in Daytona Beach.
Yeah, imagine that, right?
That's interesting how that happens. Smooth move, Brett. That's seniority. Is that how that goes?
Brett touched on a really important point too, I think, and that is not only do you own the courses and the credits for life, but one of the things that makes AMI unique is once you get your accreditation, it's portable, right? So if you're taking training with an OE, for example, you complete their entire training suite and you get some kind of stamp saying you're certified or maybe you're a master. But then once you leave that OE, well, your training stays behind. And with AMI, it's portable. So you can go from one place to the next. Not encouraging anyone to leave their shop and go to another one, but you could. And that also is something we should touch on too. When employees leave, be it a tech or an estimator, you name it. Number one reason across the industry, actually every industry, is their boss, right? And leadership is a skill. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it's something you can learn. You don't have to be born with it. Right. So train up. As a leader, train up. And then also statistics show that if you train your people, they're more likely to stay with you. So training as a whole has a great holistic benefit from the top down in an organization.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and it is a skill, and this is something that you do need to learn and apply it, and continually be improving. And I see a lot of leaders, talk about it, and then not necessarily apply what that they've got. And I think that's important. Like I said, it's in every industry, in every business, in every place. People don't leave the organization off, and they leave the leadership.
Yep, they leave leadership. That is absolutely true. So train up, learn how to be a better boss,
Yeah.
and people will follow you.
Yeah.
They'll follow you anywhere.
They will, and that's what makes a leader, I think. So that's a great point. So we've been, like I said, we've done some stuff together as well, and we've started to have some initial conversation about what we can do together, and we don't really have anything too firm in place yet, but we're definitely going to continue to work on that and try to get some more Collision Hub empowered through AMI and some of the offerings that we've got. Kristen recently announced our new LMS that we've got, a lot of leadership training in there, lots of soft skills and negotiation, and those conversations that are available to our technician, or our leadership 20 group, our C20 groups that we've got, our VIP 20 groups, so you can access that, and we'll certainly be, I'm sure, working with you guys on some programs of that to get some credit through AMI on that as well. So we're certainly excited about what the future holds for our two organizations as well. Looking forward to that. But what are some of the other things that may be your goals? Where do you want to see AMI go to?
So our last president, Jeff Peavy, who I'm sure all of you know well, is back at ICAR now, and obviously has a very, very strong background in collision. And this is the funny part where you're talking, well, we think that AMI is service. Well, AMI thinks that we're collision.
Yeah.
So AMI, we do have designations for both collision and quote unquote mechanical, which is service to me.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're going to roll out here in the next few months will be a couple additional accreditations. We're looking at both service advisor and shop foreman.
Okay.
So, and we've alluded to doing some fun stuff right now. There's lapel pins that go along with certifications and such, but we're thinking something maybe a little more visual, like a patch or what have you, for your shop foreman and such.
I like that. I like that a lot, and I think it's a good piece for you to have as that person in the shop, and whether you're dealing with your employees or your customers, and what is that? And it sparks up those conversations, and again, have that AMI certificate on the wall is all good stuff. It makes, again, our customers, I think, have a sense of comfort. And we've been talking a lot about trust and communication these last week and a half here on Collision Hub and at the World's Fair, and I think that really is helpful and really helps build that up and gives our customers some confidence that the people that we're working with know what they're doing and knows that our vehicles are in safe hands.
Bottom line, if you don't have trust, you really don't have anything.
Yeah.
And that's again, top down.
Yeah.
It's top down.
Yeah. Cool. So, what else is going on? Anything big in store for AMI?
I think we're all looking forward to the day when the travel restrictions lift and we're able to hit the road again. I'd like to say that there are more things going right now than there are. There have been a lot of connections made. For me, the learning curve has been absolutely straight up.
Sure.
Having to learn a whole new lingo in collision side has been fun too, with all the different organizations and accreditations and certifications out there. But right now, so we've got a couple things going with some different OEs, and it looks like we'll be helping them better train their staff.
That's fantastic. That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. The OE connection is something that we are really depending upon and looking at and working hard to generate interest there further down the line. And also, as Chuck mentioned, getting back out there and being involved in the training event circuit. I remember, just a few years ago, it would be, a monthly basis. I'd be going to Seattle all the way down to Daytona, or Anaheim all the way up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just to do shows with ASA and whoever else, and it's a lot of fun. Get you out of the house, you get to meet a lot of people, and explain to them who we are and what we offer, and when people see you face to face, it's a lot different than over the phone or over the computer. So it's a lot more genuine.
And with the OEs too, I know that they've got great service training. They a lot of them have great collision repair training, but that management piece has historically, I think, been missing, and I think that's you're filling a huge gap there. And again, not just for the OEs, but for all of the independents and MSOs and all the businesses, but certainly the OEs. Again, if they want their recognizing that when a customer's involved in a collision, it's a very challenging, it's a stressful situation. We're used to having dash lights and getting oil changes and brakes and stuff like that. But when we're in a collision, it's a traumatic event. Now, Chris has been pretty vocal about there's been recently some people saying it's more of an inconvenience than if you have a home loss. but it's a pretty traumatic thing.
Car's a big deal.
Car's a big deal. And that whole experience, from the initial contact all the way through the repair process, that communication, that management, it all has an impact. And if it's a bad experience, if you're if you bring it to an OEM network shop and you have a poor experience, that reflects poorly on the brand, and they're going to jump out of that vehicle into another brand, and we see it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think having good management training is really going to be beneficial for that as well.
Yeah, we in America we love our cars, but honestly, this is the second largest purchase that most people ever make.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it really is a big deal. So.
And people love it, and people they love their cars, and they deck them all, they trick them all. So when something happens to their baby, it's a challenge. So I think we've got some questions coming in here. At least one question here. Take a look here. Let's see here. Okay, we do have one question. We what does AMI stand for? That's the Automotive Management Institute. So good question. Thank you for that, Bridget. I apologize if we kind of skipped over that.
We may have answered it in turn, though, accidentally.
All right. That we good for questions then? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. What does AMCE stand for?
AMCE is the Automotive Master Collision Repair Estimator designation, and that's actually the Tier 2. We offer two different designations: the ACE, which is the the Accredited Collision Repair Estimator, and then the AMCE, which is the Accredited Master Collision Repair Estimator designation. Both which were formed by Jeff Peavy. And we have taken them and developed them, and we've had a lot of success with them. My own father, who many people may know, he's been in the industry for over 50 years, Jeff Silver. He himself is a AMCE owner and also an AAM designation holder as well. So.
Yeah, I think there's a few people that know him, and
him and Mom.
Couple. Yeah. Just a few, like everybody, right? Yeah, so that's always been a parent pleasure working with him. And I love having a conversation with Jeff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the background of, growing up with them in the industry.
Yeah.
It's I've always, even as a child, I've been around people in the industry, and they've watched me grow up from, this young kid up to, the 40-year-old gentleman I am now. And it's been quite a ride, but, it's a good way to, get in the door. So.
Yeah, well, Jeff and Jeannie have done does so much for the industry, and they're a cornerstone of the industry. So
absolutely.
Anything else, before we part ways today, anything else you want to share with us?
No, like I said, our main focus really is just, moving forward, getting bigger. We started the LMS with 80 courses. We now have well over 440 credit hours worth of courses in the system for service. On the collision side, we have a little bit less. We have around 400 credit hours. But, we continue to build on that. And it's the instructors, and it's also the everyday management or front office team, their desire for what we have to offer that pushes us to create more. And when you have people at your side like Jeremy O'Neill or Mike Anderson, it's a sure win.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, right?
It is.
Every day that I learn something new, it's a good day. So.
I'm with you. I think that the learning is great. Yesterday we talked on one of our shows later in the afternoon. One of my favorite quotes about learning is, "When you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot." And it's to be green and always learning. I think is good. Do you recommend doing the ACE before the AMCE?
Actually, yeah. The way that we have everything is that you can go from nothing all the way up to what you choose. You don't have to stop. If you would like to stop at the ACE, you have that opportunity. If you want to continue on and go all the way through
but you
to
got to go
your
through the ACE
AMCE,
first, and then
exactly. It's just a level of
Yep.
credit hours is what it is, and also a different different sorts of accreditations, like the ICAR Platinum Estimator role, ASC B6
Yep.
estimating, things like that are what make the difference between the two designations and whatnot. But when it comes down to it, it's really how many credits you have in total. If you have 180 or more credits, you are an AM, so long as you've taken care of your automotive service management course or gone online and done your 5 final exam courses.
Okay.
So.
Awesome.
And you join a fairly elite club when you get an AMN, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So amionline.org
Yes.
is your website. Okay. So if you haven't done that, again, there's no obligation. I can go there, sign up,
check it
learn
out.
more about it.
You can
I've
look
been there
around.
myself. I've taken some classes. I've taken some of the tests.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully your own.
Tests, and
Yeah.
I got a long ways to go yet. I'll do it in my free time one of these days, hopefully. But we really do appreciate you taking the time to be here today. And I know you've had a long day. It sounds like
I've had a long day, but I
yeah.
tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I love, I love my wife and I love my daughter, but I also love getting out of the house every now and then
Yeah.
so that I can, hit the road and, get involved with some industry people that I've known for quite a long time, such as yourself and Kristen. And
Well, we're happy to have you here. It's a pleasure to meet you, and we are definitely looking forward to continuing the Collision Hub and AMI relationship moving forward. So
Same here, and thanks for having us.
yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
Thank you.
We will be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 with Celette. We're talking about setup and measure. That's going to be followed at noon with Subaru and AirPro Diagnostics, and we're going to learn a little bit about what makes a Subaru a Subaru, and do some AirPro Diagnostic work with them tomorrow. And then we'll close up the day tomorrow at 2:30 with a Vitec new product showcase. Again, don't forget to visit the Collision Education Foundation website, collisionfoundation.org. Click on that donate button, make your $50 donation, and get that limited edition technician shirt. I hope everybody has a great